All right, well, I have Mrs. Babita Ashaye. She's live in the studio to look at these issues pertaining to tax administration. A lot. Role of the International Center for Tax Research and Development, amongst others, the VAID, and it's a lot of them. She's here with me. Thank you very much for joining us, ma.
Thank you, Tolu.
Well, let me start. What's this VAIDs? The VA, we'll call it VAIDs. What is it? What is the voluntary asset? What does it really intend to achieve?
Well, the voluntary assets and income declaration scheme is actually a scheme to give a window of opportunity to a lot of taxpayers who have hitherto not paid taxes at all, or they have paid less, or they are not even aware that they should pay taxes, because some of them will say, oh, we don't even know that we should pay taxes. I do everything myself. Why should I pay tax? You know, so government has come because every government needs every kobo. You know, we keep complaining about government. Government has not done this. Government has not done that. Government did not do this. Government will not do that. Government cannot do anything without the support of the people, and that is through taxation. For me, there are two types of taxation. You can have the compulsory one, which is what we are talking about now. You can have the voluntary tax, which you want to assist the government. You want to assist your community. And then you take money out of your pocket. Nobody is forcing you. You know, you want to develop that school. You want to give the poor, you know, the needy. You want to assist them. That is, for me, voluntary taxation. And is to develop your community, to develop the people. So the voluntary asset and income declaration scheme is an important scheme. For a long time, a lot of people have not actually been doing the necessary contribution. And that is why you see government running up and down, going to borrow money. And when government borrows money, at the end of the day, we will suffer. We are the one going to pay back, and at high interest. So if we all contribute, and that is why this scheme is very, very important, you have 3 good years within which to pay. You know, you still have up till March to declare your assets, income, voluntarily. Tell government this is how much you owe government. And then you can now pay instrumentally. So it's a window of opportunity. And I would like every individual who has not been doing the civic responsibility, whether it's the president or it's the governor or it's chairman, you know, let everybody come out and contribute so that we will not be running every year for loans, you know, taking loans from World Bank, from the IMF, from this and that. We can actually live within our means if everybody is contributing.
Indeed. Now, but I could ask this question. Why should all citizens declare assets and income? They are not public servants. Is just filing annual reports, is that not just enough?
No, actually, the VAID is the voluntary asset and income declaration scheme is not targeting every citizen.
Okay.
You know, okay. If you have not paid enough, if you have not paid at all, if you think you have something to pay, but maybe because you don't have enough to go and pay now, that is what the scheme is meant for. So it's not, you know, a lot of people made that mistake, asking why is the government asking us to go and declare our assets and income. No, it's not everybody, you know. We are not public servants, like you said, and we are not taking it to, you know, just declare the assets. No. What if you know within yourself that you have not been living up to your responsibility? If you know that I owe the government, but I don't have the means now, then you can regularize and pay on installment for good 3 years, just to be good citizens. There are a lot of even foreigners. I hope the companies they worked for will be, you know, will be patriotic enough to Nigeria. After all, they've taken a lot from Nigeria, to let the government know that maybe about 10 or 20 worked before in our organization. We know they have not paid enough. please allow us to pay over 3 years. I think that is beautiful. You see, taxation, taxation is important. It's like blood that runs in our veins. When we are saying there's no development, there's no development. Government cannot develop without money. So it's not that everybody, we are not saying everybody, it's when you owe or you believe you have not done your civic responsibility.
Now, during my research, I noticed that not long ago, the Federal Executive Council approved 1.9 billion naira that to enforce the V8's compliance. Well, do you think this is really necessary? Because what we're going to get from it is that why we're going to invest all of this kind of amount in it?
Well, I'm not the Minister for Finance because she requested for 1.9 and she was given that 1.9. And unfortunately, after the FEC meeting, the Federal Executive Council meeting, there was no journalist to ask her, Madam, what do you need 1.9 billion for? But what I have been seeing recently, you see that there has been meetings. Like I attended one about 2 weeks ago. There was a call for meetings of entertainers to educate them, why they should pay tax, why they should be in the tax net. The Lagos State Internal Revenue Chairman was there. Mr. Fowler was also there, trying to educate the people on this voluntary asset and income declaration. And the minister has been jumping from one train to the other. From Abuja, I don't know whether she's in Lagos State already, but she wants to go from one state to the other. So maybe for that train journey and those people who will be with her, I don't know, I'm not speaking for her, but I just assume that this is part of what she needed the money for. Okay. And if she has to go around 36 states, if she has to at least meet with key people in the economy, so that she can get more money back. I can't say 1.9 is good enough or it's not.
But just like we all notice, many want to pay tax, but they want to see what government is doing in return. I always give that example, like a state like Lagos State. People are ready to pay. You see good roads, you see the government working, cleaner Lagos, lots of projects being embarked on. Why is it that people don't really want to pay? Is it like they don't get what they want back from the government?
It's not that people do not necessarily want to pay taxes, but there are reasons. One, if the economy is bad, if things are tough, there are a lot of people who are trading today, they are not making anything. A lot of even buildings are there, those who invested in a building hoping that they will get rental income. Nobody is occupying the building. And it is because the economy is bad. So that is one reason. Secondly, some people may feel that I'm not getting what I want from the government. You look at education, you pay a lot for education. You look at health, you pay a lot. You find that recently even the health people, the health medical practitioners were saying that we don't have facilities. And you go to the hospital, you don't get what you want. So that irritates a lot of people. That why do I want to pay taxes? And more importantly, you find government workers not actually living up to, they are not living up to standard. You get to an office, you are meeting people that you are paying taxes. It's your money. Because I don't know, a lot of people don't know that government has no money. Government is only custodian of people's money. So if you are working for government, you don't say it's government that is paying you. No, it is the people that are paying you. And when the people come to your office, instead of you to be polite, instead of you to give them what they want in good time, you waste their time. They have to bribe you before you even, do the service that you are paid for. So that irritates a lot of people. But if you go to an office and you are promptly attended to, your time is not wasted. Not that come back tomorrow, come back another day. You'll be happy. Yeah. That, okay, this is very good. The government is improving. I thought this will take me 3 months. Within a week, I got it. So government workers must actually assist government for taxpayers to be able to do their own bit. It's not that, you know, whether I like or not, at the end of the month, I will collect my money. The people that are paying this money, like I said, government has no money. Government is a custodian of fund. And another reason that irritates people, when they see government officers spending money uselessly, carelessly, while some people cannot even have one meal a day, you find some people washing their hands with champagne. You find some people gallivanting up and down with taxpayers' money. So people will say, I don't want to contribute to that. So when you are a public officer, you have to be mindful that this is people's money. If I have this money and I cannot go and stay in an hotel that will cost 200,000 naira a night, I'm not going to stay, even if the government is willing to pay. So these are things that irritate people. You want to see government to perform. You want, you know, you want to be able to have the basic needs of life. A lot of people die in the hospitals today just because maybe of 30,000. Why should that happen? There is this Healthcare Act, that 2014. Up till now, the government has not been able to obey that act. And the medical consultants or the doctors are saying that give us that 1% of, I think it's consolidated fund. Even if it is going to buy Panadol for every Nigeria, let every Nigerian know that spending money uselessly, carelessly, while some people cannot even have one meal a day, you find some people washing their hands with champagne. You find some people gallivanting up and down with taxpayers' money. So people will say, I don't want to contribute to that. So when you are a public officer, you have to be mindful that this is people's money. If I have this money and I cannot go and stay in an hotel that will cost 200,000 naira a night, I'm not going to stay, even if the government is willing to pay. So these are things that irritate people. You want to see government to perform. You want, you know, you want to be able to have the basic needs of life. A lot of people die in the hospitals today just because maybe of 30,000. Why should that happen? There is this Healthcare Act, that 2014. Up till now, the government has not been able to obey that act. And the medical consultants or the doctors are saying that give us that 1% of, I think it's consolidated fund. Even if it is going to buy Panadol for every Nigeria, let every Nigerian know that, yes, I can get this back.
Indeed. Now, as almost rounding up now, how can the government motivate voluntary compliance vis-a-vis? Why can't tax revenue meet the needs for even the state and the federal government in general?
You see, for government to be able to motivate, government must perform. Look at Lagos State. The people will even voluntarily want to go and pay because you see performance. Even though the money is not enough for the government, because the government still borrow to do a lot of things. But even those who want to give you money, loans, once they know that taxpayers are paying regularly, they will be willing to give you that facility. And with regards to, can we not stay within our means? I am disturbed. Because since Buhari administration, we have been having increase in budget, increase in budget, increase in budget, and at the end of the day, they cannot even do more than 30%. But why should we have that? There are a lot of countries today, they have balanced budget. Let us cut our
according to our clothes.
Let us, according to our clothes. We rush unnecessarily. We want to develop this, develop that, and we go about, you know, seeking for loan facility. It's not necessary. And you know something, when government perform, if you are charging, if the tax rate is 10% today, and you tell the people that we want to build the wall to the moon, and we need you to please pay 20%, because you have been performing, they will pay that 20%. So government needs to perform. Government needs to take care of people. The health care is important. Education is important. Housing is important. Water, electricity. For example, now, the issue of electricity, we are suffering a lot. If it is another good government, they would have given free loans for solar energy, that every landlord, just like General Obasanjo did during his time, that housing, he gave, loan for housing. And you remember during his civilian regime too, for shares, because he wanted people to take interest in the capital market, people were able to go to the bank and obtain loans. So this electricity, we don't need to be waiting anymore. Government should be able to tell the bank, even if it is at 5% interest rate, for alternative energy, please give my people loan. And everybody will be happy. That is what we want, because that electricity is causing a lot of problem. It's causing a lot, especially to young ones. They have heat rash, they can't sleep in the night. Why should they be suffering?
Indeed. I know I can see that passion, man. I know you can go on and on with it. But I know at least those in the corridor of power and actually like regards to tax, I know something will be done, even the national revised tax policy and all of that. Let's see how it all plays out. Man, I have to thank you, Mrs. Morenike Babington Ashaye, President, International Center for Tax Research and Development, giving insights into issues surrounding taxation and how we can actually move ahead with regards to taxation in the country. Thank you for sharing your time with us on Business Nigeria.
Thank you, Tolu. Thank you.
We hope we'll have you again shortly.
You are most welcome.
All right, yeah. We'll take a break, and when we return, we'll move straight to the floor of the exchange. Efyonga Copy standing by.